What is our nature? What is natural to us? What is instinctual for us? We humans who have striven so far from the ways of nature, from the ways of instinct, what is it in us that roils to the surface when it is that we have to go to baser things? And how is it that we crust those things over with human invention? Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Fort, and we are here to discuss another poem which will appear, of course, in two separate playlists here on the channel. Number one being the poetry discussion playlist, cruising ever nearer to 700 videos, 700 poetry discussions, and also the Emily Dickinson playlist, a playlist of videos dedicated exclusively to the greatest poet of all time, Emily Dickinson. This video was requested once again by Muriel. Now, this is a poem which has appeared on the channel multiple times. Many Emily Dickinson poems have appeared on the channel multiple times. The Emily Dickinson playlist, over 100 videos strong. So I wanted to give it another go, but I didn't want to just give the same reading again. I didn't want to talk about the same things over again. So I hunkered down and I really spent time with the individual words involved. Sometimes, especially, so we're going to get some Rilke on the channel later this month. And it's difficult with an author like Rilke, who is appearing to us, to me, in translation, to really hunker down and pay attention to the words, because that's not exactly the word that the author chose. It's the word that was chosen by the translator, and the translator themselves has a job to do. And that job, maybe first and foremost, is to have an interpretation of the poem itself. So depending on the interpreter's interpretation of the poem, the interpretation of the words will change. But Emily Dickinson is a writer with whom I have spent a lot of time, and individual word choice, after several readings of a poem, after several interpretations of a poem, after several discussions of a poem, is one of the areas where you can really still have some individualized fun. Some fun with what it is that poem might mean, what it is that poem might say. So I spent a lot of time really concentrating on individual words in this poem until I realized, well, there's a bit of an irony in that, isn't there? There is a bit of an irony in concentrating on the individual words of this poem when the non-existence of words might be part of the point. This is the poem, Hope is the Thing with Feathers, and it reads as such. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. Probably you see the line right away that I'm talking about. Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is that which sings, but it sings the tune without the words. What is meant by this? Sounds simple enough, though, right? I mean, birds don't have words. They have songs, but no words. We do. We have words, and we have all kinds of different sets of words that we use for different people, that we use with different people, that we use for different places, that we use with different contexts. Birds, the bird's song, the song of hope, has no words. This, to me, I think, suggests two things. One, the song of hope is primal. The song of hope has been with us since before language. The song of hope perhaps is there for the entire animal kingdom. If Emily Dickinson is positing that the bird delivers the song of hope, it would be kind of silly to suggest that the bird itself does not have hope. If hope exists within us and within birds, and it is prior to language, is hope instinctual? Is it something that we are living through, not with? If it is instinctual, it is something that connects us to nature, brings us towards a biological home, brings us to a natural state. Hope, it would seem from this assertion, is etched upon our hearts and not upon our tongues. That's hope. What's the opposite of hope? Doubt? Doubt being a correlative of fear? What if it is not hope that is a human invention, but doubt? Fear. Can we really say that animals have fear, or do animals just react? Do baser animals, do birds, do mice fear without reason? So there's been studies, of course, that you can pump scent from a cat into a mouse's cage, and its heart will race. It will get nervous. It will act differently, but that's reacting to a stimulus. How many things in your life do you fear without reason? How many things in your life do you make up to fear? Do you imagine into existence that you might feel anxiety? I think this is maybe a symptom of humankind. And does that have to do with words? If you're not reacting to a stimulus to feel that fear, are you reacting to the words that you have racing through your mind? And after all, we do use different words in different contexts, different words in different places. If I go to work and tell my boss that the list that I had to accomplish during my shift gave me feelings relating to hauntology, for example, well, I might get my hours cut. If I go to the barista and when the barista asks me what I want, I say, well, what I want is not in ideas, but things. The objective correlative, my friend. Maybe they'll ask me not to come back. But on this channel, those words, objective correlative, hauntology, they're welcome, I hope. They're welcome. So the number two thing that this brings to mind here, if hope is instinctual, if hope is a natural portion of us, and perhaps fear and doubt are not, what if this song of hope that does not have words because we are supposed to put our own into the song? Each of us, all of us, for the context that we need it. Does hope have context? Or is hope a state outside of context? Sounds silly, sure, but if you are optimistic, are not the optimistic people in your life more open and we'll just say free-spirited, maybe not like Burning Man free-spirited, but free-spirited, than the negative people, than the people who live more on the side of fear and doubt? Fear and doubt, more often than not, I think, finding a place with words, finding a direction with words, finding a specification, versus those who are hopeful are just kind of hopeful in general, just kind of positive in general. What if the song of hope does not have words because it is not specific? The song of hope is general. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on the channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. There's poetry every Monday, and I hope to have you back for the next one.